Hi, I'm Addie. I'm here with
Kathy Watson.
yes, and we are here to talk about Adopt a Highway and dive into everything that it's about and what it does for the environment. So if we could start with how often you go to clean up your highway
4 times a year.
every season?
No, just in the summertime because we
Oh.
get snow.
Oh, right, yeah. And then what influenced you to adopt a highway?
Environmental issues, and since we live in the mountains, we like to have it pure and clean and not interfere with the beauty of the drive-ins and mountains.
And what's the craziest thing you've ever picked up or found?
This is a snowflower. It grows normally in the forest. It's very unusual on the highway. And they pop through when the snow melts. And they go from this size to about 2 feet tall. And they're known as firecrackers, snowflowers, and a bunch of other names. And they're very unusual. And you can't replant them. They'll die if you try to put them in your yard. They're the best.
How does Adopt a Highway directly contribute to environmental stability?
Well, by picking up the litter and trash along our highways, it helps with the wildlife because we take away the things that can harm our wildlife. It takes away some of the litters that can cause wildfires because glass attracts sunlight that can heat that glass and start a small fire. It's detracting when people throw litter, and that makes other people throw trash out alongside the highway or dump their trash in the forest. So I think by picking up the litter, it encourages people not to continue to throw things out.
So there's no chain effect or reaction?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And then how can you get communities involved in cleaning their environment if they can't directly adopt a highway?
Well, I think that people can contribute by just being aware of their surroundings and know, like when they go places, if you have things in your car, like you've gone to a fast food place, just because it's in your car and maybe you have things you don't want to smell up your car doesn't mean you need to open your window and throw it out the window. You need to be more aware that you need to keep it in the car until you get to a place where you can find a place to dispose of it. It's not correct to just dump it out the window. And I think people need to just be more educated on the harm it can do to our environment, to our wildlife, and even in the big cities, these birds pick up things like plastic straws, the things they put on cans, and those can be very detrimental to birds and squirrels and scavengers, you know, by choking them or getting caught around their necks and things like that. And it's a very simple thing, just don't throw things along the highway or in anywhere you feel like it. Put it in a trash can where it belongs.
And what are the biggest challenges you face when organizing and maintaining all these cleanups?
The weather. For us, it's the weather because we do live in a snow area, so we usually around this time of year we've had at least one pickup. We've only had a little trouble this time, and of course we live in a wildfire area, so we've had to go around that type of area. And we have 2 sections that we do, so we have quite a bit to clean up, but we just try to make time in our schedules. We usually do it on the weekdays because we don't have as much traffic, because we're a resort area. We have a lot of traffic in the area, so we usually try to do it on Mondays and Tuesdays where it's a little bit quieter. And that's our biggest challenge. We did it today on a Saturday, and we were very lucky because there wasn't a lot of traffic today. But those are our challenges, just the weather and traffic.
Okay. Right, well, that sounds good. That's all I needed from you. Thank you for answering all these questions.
Thank you.
My name is Caitlin, and I'm sitting here with
Bud Wasson, Grandpa.
an Adopt a Highway owner, and we're gonna ask a few questions today about Adopt a Highway, and yeah. So tell us a little bit about Adopt a Highway and what it is and what you do.
Adopt a Highway is a program that the state of California has for cleaning up roadway edges. People can volunteer to be responsible for up to 2 miles, and actually we have about 8 miles of space where you clean up the sides of the highway, pick up trash, put it in bags, and then Caltrans will come by later on and pick it up and take it to a dump or something along that line.
And how often do you guys go to clean up your highway?
Well, that's kind of weather dependent for us. We're supposed to do it 4 times a year, which would be once a quarter.
Mhm.
However, in the wintertime, when there's that white stuff called snow on the ground, it's a little tough to pick up trash. So we try to do 3 or 4 times between the months of May and October.
And what influenced you to adopt a highway?
I got tired of looking at other people's trash. The inconsiderate human beings that throw things out the window and leave it for somebody else to look at. I wanted to be part of picking up that stuff so that when I come home to the mountains, which is where I like to call nature's beauty, I'm not looking at trash from a fast food place or a grocery store or any numbers of other things that we found on the side of the highway.
Yeah, of course. What's the craziest thing you've ever picked up or found on the highway?
I don't know if you have enough time for that, but probably the craziest thing for me was a box of homemade reload ammunition. There was probably 3 or 4 boxes. It was obvious not commercial made because they were taped together, but it was a reload system that they had, and they left them on the side of the road for somebody else to potentially get harmed with, because that could have exploded in the right set of conditions.
Okay. When it comes to the environment, how does Adopt a Highway directly contribute to environmental stability?
Best way to say is that it takes away the trash left behind and the potential for human trash to cause wildland fires. We live in an area, we've been living in this particular area for about 18 years now. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had 2 major wildland fires come in. One is the Dixie Fire, which affected our house. And if you're looking at the camera right now and looking out the windows that the camera is showing, you see black sticks, which are the trees that got burned. The Park Fire was another one that just happened recently, and all of a sudden you get a smoke infested environment, and then you get the fire departments and the sheriff's department saying you have to leave your house. So we have to pack up, drive away, and maybe come back in 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever. Sometimes somebody's reckless throwing of a lit cigarette out the window causes that fire to get started. And by us trying to pick up, or at least be making people aware that we're picking things up, it gives a little bit more of a sense of safety, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. And how can you get the community involved in cleaning their environment?
By promoting the necessity of getting it done. You can get on radio stations, you can get on TV stations, you can throw flyers out saying, this is what we're going to do. I don't care where you live. You can live in the mountains, like we do. You can live in the Bay Area where they've got creeks, streams, and canals, or the sides of a road. And the whole idea is to try and get things protected so that not only do we not see the trash, but other animals, birds, fox, deer, bear, whatever you want to call it, when they're scavenging for food, you don't want them eating somebody's leftover popsicle wrapper or stick or cigarette lighter. So we're trying to get people involved in protecting those environmental issues. Volunteerism is probably the biggest word that is kind of a buzzword now, trying to get people to volunteer. So give them a purpose, give them a reason, have them see the need, and then fulfill that need by showing up and helping pick up things so that you don't get an animal wrapped up in some type of wrapper or something along that line.
All right, well, thank you for your time. And this concludes our research project on Adopt a Highway and how we can protect our environment.